This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned.
.5 The Weasel.
Have we gone back into our radio voices? Do we need to do that thing?
It's a quote from it was a Total Biscuit thing before he passed away. So.
Welcome back to Sundays with Frank Sinatra.
Brian.
No NPR voices.
Brian, stop.
But yes, welcome back for our podcasting folks. Yes, this is part 2 of our episode where we last left everyone off. We were in the middle of the conclave. There was almost a throwdown between Corbin, Bruce Willis Oakenthane, and Lord Zedram.
No, just Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
He has never told anybody his clan name.
Oh, no, this is all for the folks at home.
Oh, okay.
Folks that are playing at home.
I thought you meant I'd refer to myself as Bruce Willis Oakenthane.
No, in this corner.
And the red trunk.
And I lost my coffee. And apparently on a ceiling.
Coffee was on the throne, and she's on the ceiling. The first floor of the manse has been thoroughly mapped, I'm sure, by Thunuk Gentle Trunk. And during the course of the deliberations, a scream was heard from the lower levels, from the basement, because unlike the Alamo, this does have a basement. And that is where we currently find things. Back to the action.
So I'd like to, can I just narrate this for a minute? Mm-hmm. So, like, we hear the scream, it cuts to everyone, and you hear, oh, fuck. And then it cuts to break. And as we come back from commercial, you hear, sick.
And that's how we get around the FCC.
Amazing. I love it. Hugon has no such reservations, and he goes, "Are you fucking serious?"
The fuck's with this town?
I am going to take a double move action in the direction of the screaming.
Okay.
As stealthily as possible.
So yeah, there's basically like an open doorway towards the back of the hall where it goes. See where it goes downhill, or not down steps. And yeah, you're able to make it down there pretty stealthily. And there appears to be someone there, and kind of you're assuming they probably work there. They're probably in the administration, in an administrative role there. Dressed slightly nicer. They're not like normal, like, hey, hanging around, kicking around Pinedale clothes, but they're not like, feast day formal, so you imagine, professionally dressed, whatever passes for business casual in Pinedale.
The Pinedale equivalent of khakis and a polo shirt.
Yeah. And if we do have anyone listening who actually can draw worth a damn, I'd be really interested to know what Faerun's equivalent of business casual would look like. But anywho, so you go down there, and they are like, they're looking into one of the rooms, and when you come down to the basement, it looks like this is old construction with new construction. It's been renovated. It might have been just like an open space before, but now it looks like it was renovated into various stalls with cots in them. And as best you can figure, this was used as an emergency shelter, that if you do ever have to bring everyone into the keep, they need a place to sleep. And this is what this was, or is.
So
and
what is she looking at?
So she looks in, and she's looking into one of these rooms, and there's like this cauldron that's just bubbling, and there is a shadow on the wall, and she sees you come down, and she says, I don't know what happened. We came down here, and we saw the cauldron, and he touched it, and then there was a bright flash, and he's gone, and I don't know what happened. And she's just like gibbering.
I just stare at her and point up the stairs.
And she turns and hauls ass. You do not need to ask her twice.
Yeah,
You could have.
I'm not even asking her once.
I think Hugon's a lot slower than.
You're actually faster than me. My base movement is only 25.
Oh, I thought you were a lot faster because you were a monk. Oh, I'm sorry.
I am supposed to have bonus movement, but I haven't incorporated that into my movement because I figure he's mostly a bard.
Gotcha, I understand.
So,
well, I mean, he's right behind, Bruce Willis on the way down, and it's like he looks at Bruce Willis and is like, "Are you are we like bullshit magnets or something? Like what is this nonsense?"
Is the shadow on the wall moving?
It is not.
Is it me?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next question I am asking is what's casting the shadow?
It looks more like, and I don't know if anyone in Faerun would be able to.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, it's more like.
It's carbon scoring from a blast shadow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yes.
Right.
Not scoring, bleaching. Bleaching?
Yeah. Like what you see, like it's they say if a nuke goes off, like all it's left on the wall, your shadow gets on the wall. That's kind of what that is there.
By the time Thuna catches, go ahead.
Summon the druids, the centaurs, and just fill them in on what's happening, because I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm just not.
And they come down and
they want to prove that they want to be committed to a safer fucking Pinedale. Prove it.
And they look, and they're like, no one really knows what to make of this. And and one of the halfling from the Emerald Enclave makes his way into the room and is very, very careful not to touch the cauldron. But he looks over and he looks at it, examines it, and gives it a sniff. Does the whole because
sniff test.
Well, it's more of it's a quaff test, right? Because you don't actually just sniff a chemical. It's you have to do the wafting.
Right. Of course.
And he does that, and he says, "I've seen something like this before." He said, "We have about 5 minutes to clear this entire building."
Is this an attack?
Why?
Oh, because this is going to explode.
Okay, let's fucking get out of here then.
I'll try to dismantle it. I'll try to see if I can't defuse it, but
how big's the explosion going to be? Do we need to worry about evacuating surrounding housing?
He gives another sniff, and he's looking at the size of the cauldron. He says, pretty much every sentient being within 1,000 feet of this is going to go boom in about 5 minutes.
Oh my god.
Within 1,000 feet.
And how big's the keep?
The keep itself, from the from where you are to the wall is probably going to the wall surrounding it is probably going to be about that's probably most of it, like about 750 feet or so.
Okay.
And then so you figure there's probably not enough around. You don't have to worry about evacuating any kind of people like outside.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
And it's not going to damage the building.
And he
Just
says,
sentient people.
Yeah, he goes, I've seen this kind of magic. It's like a magic bomb, and it targets. And he's like, I can explain the mechanics of how everything works to you later, but I really think that we need, if everyone else can start moving people out of the building, I'll start working on trying to disarm this.
Corbin is making plans to leave Pinedale.
I'm gonna.
That is absolutely not a joke.
I'm using minor illusion, and I'm going to have it at the loudest possible volume where it might actually hurt my compatriots' ears a little bit. That literally just says "get out," and that permeates basically as far as I want it to.
So you're gonna pretty much tell the entire building that.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah.
There. Problem.
Maybe evacuate
solved.
would be a better word.
I don't think Dren would come up with that. It's
That's probably true.
Down to earth wisdom question time. Thunix gonna look at the druid and say, "Would it help if we just poured everything out before it finishes?"
He says, "No, that will actually probably speed up the reaction. There's magics that I need to do. I can remove part of the triggers that are in this to try to diffuse it, but it's a delicate process."
Nope, you're leaving.
And he starts. You can see he starts like chanting under his breath.
We
and you
can get everybody out of 1,000 feet in 5 minutes easy.
I'm chalking up to my technological leprosy because everything will work fine until it doesn't. So,
Yes.
Where we last left off, right? The halfling druid was starting to do some chanting and gesticulation over this cauldron to attempt to disarm this magical bomb that he had that you guys had discovered. And Drenmai had just told everyone to get out.
And I told him to get out as well. Because if it's only going to damage the people, we don't need him risking his life to defuse a bomb and being a hero when he can just get outside of the blast radius like everybody else.
And he's like just zoned in right now on disarming this thing.
Sonic's gonna look over at Corbin or Bruce. Should I just take him?
I just look at the other druids and I'm like, and I literally give them a look like, he's your fucking problem now. Don't say we didn't try to prevent, like, he's your fucking problem now. Don't say we didn't try to prevent you a casualty. And I actually go and worry about the townspeople and get the people out of the actual thing.
I mean, that's the course of action that Hugon would be taking right now. I mean, he's up the stairs and gone, like trying to like howl at people to get the hell out of the building, out of the keep proper, like beyond the walls by a good chunk, like down into the town.
Yeah.
Task 1 is to go out.
We know why there's. Go ahead.
Task 1 is to get out into the training yard and tell Tadel Swift to sprint home as fast as she can. It's good training. Go, run.
Wind sprints, go. It's good cardio.
Do not come back until I tell you.
And she just turns tail and runs, just like you know. She's getting. She's listening. Her listening skills are on point.
It's a miracle.
What's everyone else doing?
Do we know what made the scorch mark?
Yes, one of the other people working in there touched the cauldron. There was an explosion. That's his death shadow.
Is the cauldron still there?
Yeah.
That's the cauldron.
The cauldron is the bomb.
Can I keep it?
No, fuck, no. Clark, no. Or Carl, excuse me.
No,
Carl.
Carl. Yes.
How long does it take us to evacuate the area?
There's not, again, we're not talking about like Philadelphia City Hall, so it's not like you've got hundreds upon hundreds of people. You probably have a couple dozen people that you need to get out of the. You could, between Drenmai's prestidigitation and any efforts that you wouldn't want to make you'd be able to get everyone out of there within like 2 minutes.
Oh, on that note, Thunic picks up the druid, and as we're all leaving, he's going to use speak with animals on himself and shout to all the animals in the area. Actually, it doesn't even need to use that. It's just speech of beast and leaf.
Yeah.
And tell everyone to run away because something bad is going to happen.
And the birds, and you like birds start flying away, like chipmunks and mice start like trucking out of the building, start scattering off into the woods.
As we're evacuating, I'm gonna look to the half-orc council person. Sorry, I forgot their name.
That her name is Magsis.
Is there any other way into this keep other than the door we came in?
And she says, "Not to my knowledge, no."
So how the fuck did that thing get in the basement while we were looking?
She says, "I don't know."
Great. Another fucking mystery. Don't have enough of fucking those on my hands already. Fucking tired of this bullshit. I just want an answer to something. Just one fucking answer.
Is there a skylight?
This is in the basement.
That doesn't mean there's not a skylight.
That's a good
Skylight in the basement would just be a hole in the floor.
Exactly.
No, there's no skylight.
Damn.
In the basement.
All right.
Is Dren leaving or is she not?
Oh, I'm leaving. I was just seeing if I could crash through something.
She's
I just want to shatter some glass.
There
I
have-
want to test my shield.
there are the windows next to the door, the double door. Like on either
so
side of the
there's
double door.
windows in a basement, but there's not a skylight.
No.
Building
The
sucks.
double doors that lead outside of the building.
Like you come up from the basement and then there's windows next to the door.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go through a window. And I want to do it like old school 80s action film style.
So even though the door is open, you're just gonna do a Wesley Snipes out this thing.
Yes, I'm picturing like Last Action Hero through the window.
She's going to jail for tax evasion?
I'm gonna channel my Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I want to go through this window with my shield in front of me because I'm still doing durability tests on it.
No, so one stone. Not only do you evacuate the building, but you also
Exactly.
So give me a window. This would be a dex check, I think. I think that would be dexterity to jump to self-defenestrate.
I'm glad I made myself more dexterous. 21!
And she sticks the landing.
I want to come out like shield in front, boosh through. And this is all slow motion, so like boosh through the window, and the shards are flying everywhere. And I land gracefully on the ground, and I look at my shield.
Can I put an additional bit of flavor to that? There's like really dramatic music, right? As everyone's running out. And like Dren grabs her shield and she goes for the window and she's like balls up into a little ball behind it. She hits the ground on top of her shield and like skids down the stairs on top of the shield like Legolas style, lands Avengers style on the other side, looks up, the music cuts out and there's complete silence and there's just Corbin stood there going, Really?
Was that necessary? She's just gonna look up after admiring her new shield in front of her, put it on her back, kind of like perk up a little proud.
I think the shield needs a name.
And then
I don't know yet. I'm working on it. I'm going through all of like the test stuff on it to see, and oh, trust me, we're not done tinkering with this shit yet.
And like,
there's gonna be more.
The moment like she picks up the shield and puts it on her back, in a moment I've always wanted to do, a la Doctor Who, Corbin's just gonna grab her hand and say, "Run."
And don't blink.
I want to send, because Razi for the most part is indestructible. I want to send him back and just do a quick fly around and make sure everyone's out.
Technically sentient, is he?
Or organic?
That
is it organic?
We can't. You guys don't know that yet, so.
Well, I'm trying to think if Corbin knows he's slightly sentient, he wouldn't let Razi go back in because it will kill him. Because it's every.
Well, you've talked to him before.
Like,
yes, but you can talk to an AI.
No, but you used your talk with animals, or I think, when you wanted to talk to him. So you might be the closest that knows.
I do mention that it will kill every sentient being, and then I let.
Well, then Razi probably yells at me, and then we're just gonna run off.
Okay.
And you're not.
While
you can't always understand Razi, it was similar language to after you sent him down to the shithole.
Well, I can understand him.
There are only so many ways you can say the word "fuck you."
Exactly. Everyone else hears like kind of like a mechanical mechanical chipping type sound.
Mm-hmm.
But oh yeah, I can understand Razi.
Oh, he starts mouthing off, starts chewing you.
Yeah.
Because this is like the last time when you sent me down to the poop hole.
I may not
understand poop, and now you're sending me no.
I may not understand Razi, but does Razi understand me?
Yes, he understands what everyone else is.
So I'm gonna look at him and go, Razi, maybe when we're outside the blast radius, we can continue this conversation.
He's yelling at her the entire way. Just to
I'm running. He's doing this behind me. Yeah.
Right in her ear the entire time. And while you don't understand Razi, you kind of get the gist that he's decidedly nonplussed about you asking him to go back into the thing. And
Blind, can you mute your microphone? We're getting a lot of wind.
Please, it's so windy.
Okay, so you
there we go. Okay.
And Thunic, did you grab the halfling?
Yes, Thunic grabbed the halfling. He basically looked at him and said, "You can't stop the snow from falling." Picked him up and ran.
Oh, I like that. That's a nice turn of phrase. I like that. So you're able to get everyone out, and there is a it just sounds like a normal day in Pinedale, right? Maybe a few less birds now, as Thunic had warned all of the birds, just in case some of them might be sentient, right? And then right about the 5-minute mark, there's not so much the sound of an explosion, but it's like this deep bass chord was plucked, and you feel like this vibration. And you know how like it's like where it's so low where it's not loud, but you can feel it right in like your breastbone almost resonates with that low frequency, and it's wow, and it, like there's wave passes through you, and there's like a brief blue spider-webbed bubble that kind of forms over top of the over top and around the the municipal building with like arcs of different hued blue energy arcing through this, but it's only for the briefest of moments, and then it shrinks back and implodes back down on itself, and everything returns to normal, where the forest is quiet for a moment, and then you hear the birds start chirping again, and there's people that people in Pinedale, they heard the noise and they looked around and they're not quite sure what's going on, and some people stopped and are looking up, but it happened so quick that if you weren't actively looking at the building, you wouldn't have seen anything. You only would have felt that bass note.
Brian, may I roll a history check to see if that has been anything that Hugon has ever seen on the battlefield? Because this seems like some war magic.
Yeah, you could roll for history on that.
Okay, I am +5. That is a 16.
No, you have not seen. You have not seen anything directly related to that before.
Okay.
You seem to recall maybe some stories of people seeing strange things on battlefields, but you've always chalked it up just to the exaggerations, of I knew a guy who knew a guy.
Right. Okay.
Heard. Yeah, I didn't see it, but when my brother was in this battle, he saw something just like this. So it's kind of a situation like that. You've heard some stories, but nothing really concrete. And you've tended to. I'm guessing Hugon's a pretty skeptical guy.
No, I mean by his very nature, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, so it's like whenever someone says, "Oh yeah, my cousin see that," but when you talk to the cousin, it turns out someone else actually saw it, and then yeah.
Okay, well, Hugon turns to the counselors like, okay, pop quiz. Who would want all of you and your staff dead?
There's only one person I can think of.
I think we're thinking of the same person.
But then again, why did he want in the building? Okay, next step. Was that to be an alibi because he knew he'd get turned away?
Maybe.
Also, Corbin is heading back to the inn.
Okay. So what is everyone's plan here?
Is the halfling still muttering and trying to do his thing?
He's obviously stopped at this point. He's there's nothing to mutter or gesticulate over, so he
Thunuk puts him down and he sort of looks at everyone. So, are we still doing the talk thing? Or I have stuff I can do.
And the council and the council's just like in shock, and Clothophan says, I suppose we'll have to adjourn until we figure out what happened here.
I'll give Thanuk the go ahead, go tend the birds.
Forgive me for presuming, but I think that we should probably go back inside and figure out exactly what the hell just happened. So I don't know, you of an arcane persuasion may be able to figure something out that we can't. But I think we probably need to investigate this while it is still fresh, and I think we should go do that now.
I could probably go help out with that.
You know, some magic-y stuff.
I know some magic shit.
Corbin's going to sorry, not Corbin, Thunuk. Whoops.
Are you Bruce Willis?
And they switch brains.
Thunuk's gonna shout back at the birds and such. Okay, it's safe to come back. And then he's gonna call back towards Corbin in Dwarvish. It looks like this is still happening.
No response from Corbin. So I'm gonna Hugon and I guess.
Corbin literally turns around, goes,
Corbin's done.
walks back to the inn.
I'll take Hugon and I'll go. Is the council coming, or are they just like, no, we're done. It's
I don't
been a
want the
shit
council.
day.
I want the mages and the halfling druid user artist. Like the council can F off, like for all I care.
You're asking the mages from the academy to come with you,
right? People who might understand what the hell just happened.
Okay, that makes sense. So so the mages agree to that. The halfling who had at some point probably introduced himself as Odolan Trickfoot agrees to go back with you to check out the to try to gather evidence, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna go with them.
Okay.
Okay, let's head
And
back.
the only reason Hugon is going there is just in case somebody tries to attack us, so that he can kill them.
So I can.
And if he sees the Lord again, there's going to probably be an arrest
of his heart.
No, I mean like Hugon's going to kick his ass and be arrested.
Okay, so you guys are going to head back to the keep. Corbin, what is your plan over at the inn?
Gather my stuff.
Just packing up?
Yep.
Okay.
Corbin is at the point, and he's been voicing it for several weeks now, that he is tired of being a pawn in games of astral beings and things he doesn't understand, and not getting any answers at all. And this is just another in a long series of things that frustrate him and make him feel like he's also at the point where he doesn't want to protect people that don't want to protect themselves, which is why they had that little outburst in the council chambers earlier. He's about ready to just quit town and go back to the monastery.
Haven't we only been here for like a couple of days?
I meant weeks in game time, like us in game.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just Corbin's just at the point where he's got teammates he mostly doesn't like. He's got a town that don't seem to want to protect themselves, and he's got other things he could be doing with his like what's going on with his story. He joined Acquisitions Incorporated for a reason, so maybe it's time to have a meeting with the boss. The boss isn't here, the boss is in Waterdeep. So
okay. So for the crew that's going down into the back to the keep, what's your guys' plan of attack here?
Well, what do we see when we get back? Has anything like noticeably changed? Is like the cauldron exploded or something?
Oh, so you're going right back down to the.
Yeah, if everything's fine, if it was literally just that incident. Yeah, I just want to go to the source.
I mean, initially nothing looks out of place. So you go down to the basement, and the cauldron is still there and kind of like steaming and smoldering. But the liquid is completely out of there, and it's the cauldron has been partially slagged. So it's kind of melted down on one side and whatnot.
Right.
Can I roll an investigation check on that liquid?
Yeah.
Yeah, that it'd be more of an Arcana check.
An Arcana check? Okay.
Yeah.
Arcana. Yeah. Okay, 20 math 21.
21. So what is it you'd be looking for?
Right. For this particular one, I want to know if it's safe to, like, if basically like a bomb's been diffused kind of thing, if
Right.
it's safe to get near-ish.
Okay. So so while there is magical residue of whatever happened, as best you can tell, that effect is now inert. So it would be safe to poke around without worrying about any kind of weird reactions.
Okay, so I'm gonna take out one of my vials and scoop up some of the liquid and keep it with me.
Whatever little residue is left from the inside.
Whatever residue is in there.
It's mostly dried up, so it's more like it's not so much liquid as much as
so scrape it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a tarry like substance. It's kind of like if you've ever seen an open pour of Weiner. It's like if you've ever seen it, it's basically like a massive blackhead that's just, but like the pour itself is just filled with like this kind of like brownish goop. That's kind of like that's kind of like what you're able to.
Okay.
Fantastic. That's
Sounds
a great
gross.
image. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Totally,
Can I?
totally gross.
I want to do another check. I want to try and see if I know what kind of magic this was.
Let's get another.
That was used.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that it's all Arcana. I'm good at this shit. Okay. 17. Plus 4. It's awesome.
So you think some form of conjuration magic was used here. To exactly which effect, it's difficult to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would.
If I know it's a conjuration, do I look around and see anything that has been conjured?
I'm sorry. Let me think about.
Conjurations are also teleportations and summonings. Also healing.
I know, but I'm going for direct, immediate effects.
So what is it you're looking to do?
Something that I would notice, right? If I know it's a conjuration, my first immediate reaction is to look to see if anything has been conjured.
Like anything's been created and shown up there, or?
Yeah.
No, not that you see. But as you're probing around for that, you alrighty. So if you can imagine, like,
I'm not even dropping frames, so any problem that is happening on the stream is happening on your end, Aerodan.
He's not dropping frames, but he's dropping bombs.
Boom!
Dropping bombs.
Dropping bars.
Right.
Dropping hot.
Tell me what I found out.
Okay, so if you can imagine,
Dren like psychically knows that something is happening elsewhere in the universe and is physically agitated.
So if you can imagine a compass, if you had like an internal compass in your mind, that as you're using your Arcana when you're searching for certain things, it will sort of focus you in. So as you're looking at this cauldron and you're reaching out with these arcane senses to mentally probe and prod at this thing to figure out, you're noticing that the compass is also kind of yanking off to the right there a little bit, towards like the wall, and telling you that there's maybe more than one source of a conjuring effect of some kind. So it's almost like you came in sniffing for the one thing, but you're getting two different options there. You're getting two different things.
But they're both to my right.
Well, you have the cauldron that's in front of you, right? That you're looking at, but almost to your right, like from the corner of the room, you're picking up like on a second hotspot.
We're in a basement, right?
Yes. So you're picking up on a second hotspot that is texturally different than what you're picking up from the cauldron. And the wizards that came with you from the academy seem to be having a similar reaction as they're like reaching out with their senses, and you can see they're glancing over in the same corner as well.
How sturdy are the walls?
It's, I mean, they're made from timber. I mean, timber and stone. So they're. Why is that? Did you want to jump through a wall?
No, I was gonna firebolt the wall.
Oh God.
I'll set it on fire, so I can't do that.
Probably, yeah. Not a great idea.
Okay, then I just want to go over to where my spider senses are tingling to investigate over there.
And let's get another Arcana roll on that bad boy.
Come on. 14.
You're sensing the hot spot. You're not able to really, there's too much interference in the room for you to do more than determine. But one of the mages, not him, not that. The Dragonborn wizard, Vainamoinen, has come over with you as well to that corner, and he's got his hand on the wall, and he says, somebody teleported here.
So that's how they got in. Fuck. Okay.
Hugon, are you in the room with him?
Yeah, he's with us. He's muted. But he's here.
And Thunuk, you're in there as well?
And I apologize.
Oh yes, I'm also in there.
So what are you guys doing in the room here?
Well, I'm kind of letting the people who understand magical shit do their shit. And
do the magic shit.
He's basically making sure no one in the hall is like loitering about to launch another attack.
Okay. And Thunuk, what are you doing at this moment?
Thunuk is going to pray to the four.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pray for a little bit of guidance in regards to uncovering, finding truth and uncovering lies. And while he's doing that, he's sort of double tasking. He's also looking around to see if there are any mice in the room left, if any of them survived. Not dead ones, like if there are actual living ones in there.
Oh, okay.
He's got questions if there are.
Got questions. Well, the mice probably haven't worked their way back down yet from the ones that escaped. But let's see, a guidance. That would be that be a wisdom check, or would that be a perception? What is your spellcasting like trait?
That would be wisdom.
Wisdom? Okay, this would be a wisdom check then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you just want me to roll the 20 and add my proficiency?
Yeah.
Okay. 12.
12. You have the word that comes to mind is corners. And that's all that you're really able to get. As you're saying this prayer, you keep on having like this unbidden thought that just says corners.
Thunuk will look at first he's going to look at the corners of the he's going to assume that it has something to do with the room, so he's going to look at the opposite corners of where all the other people are looking, because that's a very crowded area and he doesn't want to crowd all those people as well. But then he's going to work his way around the room looking at the corners and the floor and the ceiling.
Okay. Give me a perception check, but you'd get it with advantage because you have received some form of guidance from the field.
One is a 9, and the other is a 21.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So, when you get to the one corner where everyone is kind of gathered, under your weight, you notice that the one floorboard in the corner moves with a slightly different creak than the other ones,
Mm-hmm.
and is a bit looser.
So I'm just gonna give it a little light stomp, like when you're testing the floorboards.
And when you do that, you hit like the one end of it. The opposite end that's in the corner kind of pops up a little bit, so it's like the floorboard isn't actually attached.
I will remove the floorboard.
And in there, you find an arrow. And this arrow is the shaft is made from a polished ebony, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. The arrowhead itself is obsidian.
One might call it a black arrow.
Black arrow. Imagine
if you will,
a dark
arrow.
No, it's got an ebony haft and obsidian arrowhead. It is literally a black arrow.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But what are the feathers? They could be peacock feathers.
They're hot pink. No, they're
hot pink. Neon hot pink.
Flamingo feathers. Only a scoundrels use flamingo feathers.
But they're raven feather fletchings on this. So it is a black arrow. And it has arcane runes scrawled along the shaft.
Do I see him doing all this? I'm assuming so, with a giant floorboard coming up in the room.
Yeah, with a
Fearbog stomp is not unnoticeable.
Yeah, a Fearbog stomp and a floorboard coming up.
That's another song that's actually by the Dwarves Without Beards. It's called the Fearbog Stomp.
It's a hit dance, that number.
I want to go over to Thinnook and ask if I can see the arrow. Wait, did he touch it?
I don't know. Did he pick it up?
He did pick it up.
Yeah. He touched it.
Okay,
yeah.
So nothing's happening to him? Okay. I'm gonna ask him
or just magical
if I
inscriptions?
can see it.
Brian, did you say runes or just magical inscriptions in general?
Magical inscriptions in general, yeah.
Okay. Thunuk will hand it over.
Is not a magical inscription a form of language?
It is.
Okay, I'm gonna cast comprehend languages.
Okay.
I get to tell exactly what it says.
No, you don't. If it's anything like the last set of magical inscriptions that I cast comprehend languages on, you are not gonna get an answer.
I don't care.
You're just gonna get a large headache. No, this one, the language is that of a teleportation spell.
Okay.
And you would
this
is basically used as an anchor for teleportation.
Okay, so this is what was used to get him in here. Okay.
Oh, that's extraordinarily interesting. You shoot that over a castle wall, and then poof, there you are.
Aren't we in the basement?
Well, no, this was under a floorboard. This is something someone stacked.
It is a very useful. Yeah, what he's saying is it's a very useful weapon in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very useful bit of thing, but no, this is someone that has had access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teleportation is a 7th level spell.
Yeah,
Means you have to
it's
be
not
at least
something.
13th or 14th level to be able to inscribe it on something. This is
Yeah.
way out of our pay grade.
This is something way above us. I'm gonna let the rest of the mages know
But I'm
what
not
I
going
just
to say
found.
that.
No, but I, as a magical person, would know it. So I'm gonna let the other mages know.
Yeah, and so
and basically be like, this is somebody that had access to here.
right. Okay, so yeah, you give it over to the
Oh,
maiden.
I don't give it to them. I just show them.
You show them. You're like, no, mine.
It has an obsidian tip. This gnome right here is holding on to a shiny.
And Vainamoinen looks at that and he says, can I see it? I'll give it right back. I promise. I just want to look at it.
Skeptical. Again, Dren says that out loud, hands it over.
And he turns in, he looks it over, and he's like, he's examining it, and he says, as he hands it back, he goes, I think you're dealing with a shadow archer.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So he says they're basically able to attune to their weapons in a way where they can use them to cast remote magic. This one appears to be tied. I've never seen one that was able to use a spell like this before in this manner, but that would be my guess. And he says, and come to think of it, right before the Meanlocks attacked, an arrow landed right by our feet.
Yep.
And I don't remember if the arrow looked like this or not, but that does seem like a bit of a coincidence.
In theory, that arrow should still be there, right?
Unless someone cleaned it up.
Oh, it exploded?
That's what caused the rent in the ground to let the Meanlocks out.
Okay.
He said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. No, I just mental stutter. Go ahead.
He says, well, come see us where we're my compatriot and I are staying. I believe that he and I might have something for your group that could potentially help you in moving forward.
Before they try and leave, I want to. What was it that they called him? Shadow
Archer.
Shadow Archer.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, and these are the people that are here. This is the council. Yeah. I want to know if they know of anyone that has access to here that would be a Shadow Archer.
He says, there's a ritual that we can do that could potentially locate some of this magic, but it would take some time, and we would have to wait until evening to do it. But there is a ritual that we can do.
You should do it.
Okay. And he says, so he tells you at the inn that they're staying at, and he says, meet us there after sundown, and we'll be able to do the ritual and help run this location spell.
I snatched the arrow back.
Oh, he'd already handed it back. He handed it back to me.
Okay. Shiny, mine. Okay. Then I'm probably gonna head back to my shop.
Okay. And what are Thunuk and Hugon going to do here?
Thunuk is going to head back to the nymph. Wait, that's not the name of it.
Yeah, it's the Nymph and Harper.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Nymph and Harper.
Yeah,
No, that's
on top of it.
Boulder. We're at the the Harrier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Nymph and Harrier. That's right. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Hugon's going to go to the Swift residence and probably let them know that training's going to be on hold for a little bit. Just because this is the second time that attacks have been made on the mages themselves, and now there's been attacks that threatened several dozens of people. And in both scenarios, it was a very near thing. So having civilians around is not advisable. So he's just going to cancel training for the time being.
Okay.
Was she still out there doing laps?
No, yeah, I had to send her home.
Oh man, the poor kid.
But well, she'll be fine. And also a stay away from me kind of warning. I'm going to be around dangerous shit for the foreseeable future.
Okay. And the dad like agrees and understands, and you can see Tadell is obviously upset by this, by wanting to continue to train. And
right. Where's her mother?
Sitting quietly.
Okay.
Yeah. Sitting quietly in the common room that they have in their house. It's kind of like a combination.
Does she seem at all concerned or surprised by this news?
That you're canceling training?
No, like about the attack, which I've explained.
No. The look on her face is more what you've seen from people who have been in harrowing combat situations. Like that kind of 1,000-yard stare, right when they get off the line.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Type jumpiness. That's kind of that's the vibe you're picking up. You've seen that before. So.
Okay.
And Thunik, so you're heading back to the inn? Okay. Just
Corbin will probably be coming out of the inn back to the keep as they were all coming out of the keep.
Okay. With things slung on his back?
Got his duffel bag over his shoulder. And just... Well, there's a war cleric of Taimora in Waterdeep I need to have a conversation with.
You right now?
Yes.
But
are you doing like are you going to Waterdeep, or are you having like a magical conference call?
He looks at the duffel bag over his shoulder. Looks at Dren. You're smart enough to work it out.
Can do.
I may not be back.
Thunik's just gonna start going on about but so many cool things and this and that, and we found an arrow and blah 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 blah, blah. And
shut up.
Okay.
That's the problem. Don't you see? Don't you see? We have a town that didn't need to defend itself for 30 fucking years. All of a sudden, that fucking asshole in Waterdeep assigns us to a town that becomes the center of fucking Spook Central? When's Evo Shandor gonna show the fuck up? That man knows something that's going on in this city. That man put us here for a reason and doesn't even have the courtesy to give us a fucking breach around.
I'm just thinking of like Thunik trying to like digest.
We're being asked to build guards, people. We're being asked to, and don't think that we weren't being asked to do that anyway. We were gonna get asked to do that fucking anyway. We're being asked to solve problems with main locks. we're being asked to safeguard important VIPs from, I would like to point out, an incredibly powerful mage institution and an incredibly powerful enclave of druids that should be able to look after their fucking selves. We're being asked to search for fucking dragons and fucking look for guards people that have gone missing, when again I point out the incredibly powerful fucking druids in the forest. So why the fuck are we here, and why has Omen put us here? I'm tired of trying to work out other people's fucking games. I'm tired of being in this city and finding people that can teleport me out of a fucking inn without my fucking say so. All I came here for was to find potential allies in a conflict that may be coming, but more importantly, to just do some fucking work. This isn't regular fucking mercenary work. It's the wording level of bollocks. Go find the fucking drow if you want fucking conversation with In fact, go find my fucking sister. She's the fucking shaman. Why am I being summoned for a conversation with a column of wind in a fucking dream? I don't even speak wind.
Picturing the note this whole time. Just the look on his face.
Wind.
I'm done being a pawn. These aren't fucking things we can answer on our own. This is information we should have come into a fucking situation with. And there's one person that knows why he put us here. And that's Omen fucking Dran. So I'm either going to go and get some fucking answers, or I'm going to shove this, and he takes the acquisition and corporate very bad, so far up his ass, he'll be picking it out of his nose.
Thing's going to at the nose portion. He's going to say that doesn't sound very sanitary.
I am tired of being bounced from one fucking mystery to the next and not being allowed to have time to solve. And you cannot tell me it's a fucking coincidence that we show up here and all this bollocks starts. You can't fucking tell me that. So he knows what the fuck is going on here. And he owes us a fucking explanation. Do you believe in coincidences? The correct answer is no, by the way.
That's the correct answer? Wow.
Yes. Do you think it's a coincidence, Drenai?
No, he knows something.
Then why aren't we all just fucking going there and finding out? What about you, Hugon? Do you believe this is a coincidence? That just so happens that as we're moving through the forest that we're assigned to, your long fucking dead grandfather that happens to have a connection to someone else in your party shows up and gives us all spooky dreams, and then there's fucking everything. I'm done. I want the fucking information. And we are now in the situation where we can't wait. We've got to know now. Because we've got something with the potential fucking intelligence of a power of a god that could teleport us around without our fucking will and give us dreams and fucking all kinds of bullshit. We've even been told we are destined for fuck that! In case you can't tell, I'm a little bit angry, so I'm stumbling over my words. I'm usually better than this. So, we go to the place where we know someone has an answer. Because we're not getting any on our own at this point.
Corbin, you hear a scratching noise coming from your documentsy bag.
It's ignored. In fact, the documentary bag is taken off and thrown on the floor.
I'm going to tell Bruce was.
If someone else wants to open it, they're welcome to, but
I may in a second just because my tinker senses.
Corbin's a little too angry to worry about a fucking bag right now.
Yeah, I think.
And you know the thing that fucks me off the most?
Oh no.
The thing that fucking grinds my gears the most is that by putting us here, if we're the reason that all this shit is happening to Pinedale, that motherfucker has endangered innocent lives. Fuck that.
But
I feel like Hugon rolled up in the middle of this, coming back from the Swift's house.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like hands up, like, oh, all right.
Whoa.
Like, I don't know if you guys pissed him off, but here I am. All right, sorry.
Hugon immediately looks at me.
It's like Dren.
And
now what?
And please don't take this as any kind of fucking offense, but we've been in this town for 4 or 5 days at this point. We've known each other about a week. We've barely spent any time together and got to know each other. We've known each other for literally every day. There's been drama or fucking explosions or magical exploding fucking cauldrons or fucking demon elves from the nether realm or fucking... What the fuck is going on here?
And that probably sets off Dren's bit of her curiosity, where she's gonna say, "I agree, but they're gonna give me."
Gonna give you what?
Well, they're gonna at least, at the very least, give me a location spell tonight.
Who?
And I can't leave that, so I'm not leaving the mage.
Who's gonna give you this fucking spell?
No, they're not giving me the spell. They're doing the spell for me.
Who?
The mages.
Fuck the mages. They could be fireballing the entire fucking forest and solving the fucking null problem.
But then they burn down the forest.
I kind of know how magic works.
Yeah.
And someone that's powerful...
Cynic's got a point. You can't fireball the forest.
But my point being, you can trace people easily with magic. How come they haven't traced the fucking gnolls? I'm not talking about you. The royal we, dum-dum.
Well, if you want to go interrogate them, you're more than happy to, but my curiosity is piqued.
I don't need to. I know someone who has answers. Omen fucking Dran. The fucking cock muppet that sent us here.
All for. Which I'm all for after I figure out where this thing came from. So if you want to wait a day, I'm all for it. But I want to figure out where this particular thing came from.
We may not have a day.
Well, they're doing it. The spell, but Brian, was it.
It started with a missing set of guards, and it's gotten to a fucking invasion of a town from things that can apparently fucking teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Because as far as I know, that's the only way in and out of that fucking basement.
That's
not in my fucking pig.
If I didn't relay it earlier. No, nor is it mine. But if I'm going to go after the head, I'm going to have a little bit of information and be like, here, we can't handle this shit. But this is who it is.
It's not
Here's your
about
info,
the fact that
but
we
what's
can't
not
handle
for us.
it. It's about why has he sent us here and endangered innocent fucking people.
He's fairly obvious.
None of this shite started.
He either may not give a shit, and then in which case we can revisit who we were working for. But since I've worked with him in the past, normally he is not that particularly the kind of person.
Really?
So we may have locked in on something.
Because I heard they cloned a friend of his and didn't give a shite if the other one
You know, it was an unfortunate set of circumstances that led to that. And in all honesty, he didn't want to lose his best friend.
I'm gonna go have a beer.
He walks up, sees it, walks away.
Well, I mean, like, look, Hugon says this. It's like you're talking to a guy whose purpose here is to hit and kill things. Point me at the problem.
Yeah.
And when we have a problem that I can be...
I point in the direction of Waterdeep.
Yeah, I don't mind getting some answers from the guy. But at the same time, like, I can't leave these people behind.
Why? It's
you
quite
have
clear.
A trainee.
It's quite clear that this all started when we showed up.
Right, and it's not clear that it's going to end if I leave.
But there's no evidence to say it won't just fucking follow us. Apparently, we are the ones that are going to hold the gateway against the darkness. Ooh.
It didn't take, like, the Meanlocks didn't take us. It went after townsfolk.
No, it went after the mages. The townsfolk.
Well, if it was following us,
the townsfolk
would go after us.
The townsfolk was a side effect. It went after the mages. And I'd like to point out, how the fuck, and I know you know this family, and I know you're training the daughter, but those mages were tied the fuck up when they were getting tortured. Apparently she was getting tortured not tied up. We get an arrow We get an arrow shot from one side of a fucking town to hit a ground over here and explode to let the Meanlocks out, and it just so happens that the only fucking town person that didn't go to the fucking thing is her.
Well, she got taken initially, right?
No. She was not taken until after the mages, which means the archer had shot the arrow, exploded the ground, the Meanlocks had come out, taken the mages, dragged them underground, then she'd appeared. I know you know that family, but that woman can defend herself. She took out a Meanlock one-on-one with a fucking dagger.
Mm-hmm. B, as the DM, and I know this family's history, do I know something about her that would make her a target? That's why somebody would be targeting her specifically.
Roll a history check.
History, what's my history?
Nothing!
Oh, me.
No, I get +2 to it, so it's better than nothing. 15? Rolled a 13.
So I'm trying to remember, how old is Drenmai?
Like 400.
Oh. Okay, and she's been there. She's been in Pinedale for.
I've been there like 50 years or so, or whatever.
Okay.
I've been there for a good long time. I would know her since she was a kid. If she grew up there.
She was actually a foundling, in that she was found in the woods as a girl not much older than Tadell when she was brought in. Brought in, and you remember that she has no memory of anything from prior to her being found and brought in.
Okay.
And with that, we will call this week's game.
It's gotta be so. It's something with her.
So, thank you everyone for tuning in yet again for another episode of Team X. We will be back next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, or Eastern Daylight Time, I guess, with a brand new, all fresh, high quality episode of Team X.
We'll test more.
I'm about to
I might
go
have to make a new overlay.
And I'm gonna and you can always check us out on the YouTubes. You can check us out on video on demand on Twitch. We are also available on multiple channels through our podcast. We'll be posting about the new channels that just became available. I think we're available on Spotify now.
Oh, neat.
So if you would like
Cool.
to catch up on old episodes, your best option is to go to either youtube.com or to go to any of your favorite podcast syndicator and look up Eat, Drink, Roll or T-Mex, a Dungeons and Dragons adventure. So with that, we're going to be signing off. The rest of the team is going to stick around for table talk. I have to go do anniversary things with the wife. But
anniversary, happy anniversary, by the way.
Congratulations.
And we'll see you guys throughout the week through all of our other original programming, and I'm sure we'll see you guys in the chats on other Twitch channels. So until then, be good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Within the core of the forest can be heard and hear a spirit song sealed from long before. Now awaken to devour the essence of our soul.